Hi, my name is Elizabeth Jensen. This is my presentation on the role of the pancreas and liver in digestion for Physiology 110 for the University of New England. So let's get started. Digestion is the process of the chemical and mechanical breakdown of food, which takes place primarily in the lumen of the gut. The digestion process begins at the oral cavity, where food is chewed and swallowed. Once swallowed, the food enters the gastrointestinal tract, which includes the esophagus, small intestine, and large intestine. You might be wondering how the liver and the pancreas play a role in this process. Well, along with the salivary glands and the gallbladder, the liver and the pancreas are accessory glandular organs that add their secretions from epithelial cells along the way of the digestion pathway. As mentioned previously, digestion begins in the oral cavity. Here, food is chewed and saliva is secreted by the salivary glands, which include the sublingual glands, located under the tongue, the submandibular glands, located under the mandible, and the parotid glands, which are located near the hinge of the jaw. The swallowed food then moves through the esophagus until it reaches the stomach. Once the food reaches the stomach, digestion continues through mixing foods with acid and enzymes to produce chyme. Chyme is gastric juice mixed with partly digested food. The chyme then reaches the pylorus, which is the opening between the stomach and the small intestine. The pylorus is guarded by the pyloric valve, which opens and closes to only allow a certain amount of chyme into the small intestine at a time, so the small intestine is not overwhelmed with work. Most of digestion occurs in the small intestines, which is ensured by intestinal enzymes, along with exocrine secretions from the liver and the pancreas. These secretions enter through the duodenum, the initial segment of the small intestine, via ducts. The sphincter of Oddi plays a role of controlling pancreatic fluid and bile by keeping it from entering the small intestine, with the exception of during mealtime. Digestion then continues into the large intestine. The pancreas is necessary for digestion because it produces the enzymes that break down sugars, fats, and starches in your food. The pancreas also produces pancreatic hormones that regulate our blood sugar levels and appetite, stimulate stomach acids, and let our stomach know when to empty. The three main pancreatic enzymes are lipase, protease, and amylase. Lipase works with bile which is produced by the liver, to break down the fat in our food. Without lipase, our bodies would be unable to absorb necessary fat-soluble vitamins, including vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Protease breaks down the proteins in our food and protects us from the germs that may live in our intestines, like yeast or certain types of bacteria. Amylase breaks down the starches in our diet into sugar, so that our body can then use that for energy. If you are lacking some of these enzymes in your diet, your body will show symptoms like diarrhea or allergic reactions. Pancreatic hormones differ from pancreatic enzymes because enzymes are released into the digestive system, while hormones are released into the bloodstream to carry messages to other parts of the digestive system. The pancreatic hormones include insulin, glucagon, gastrin, and amylin. Insulin is made up of beta cells and helps our body use sugar as energy. Not having enough insulin results in diabetes because sugar levels in the blood rise. Alpha cells are located in the pancreas and they produce glucagon. Glucagon has the opposite effect of insulin, as it raises blood sugar if it gets to too low of a value by sending a message to the liver to release sugar. Gastrin stimulates the stomach to make gastric acid, and amylin helps control appetite and stomach emptying. Pancreatic problems can result in disease and cancer. Diabetes develops if our pancreatic beta cells do not produce enough insulin, or if our body is unable to use the insulin that our pancreas produces. Diabetes can cause a reduction in motor function of the digestive system. The liver filters everything that is consumed, whether it be food, alcohol, or medicine. Once food is consumed and digested by the stomach and the intestines and gets absorbed into the blood, it goes to the liver. In the context of the digestive system, the liver's role is to process materials absorbed by the small intestine and create the necessary chemicals. The liver also produces albumin, which helps transport hormones and other substances through the body. When fats are consumed, the liver breaks them down. It also creates bile, which converts excess carbohydrates and proteins and stores them for later. Bile is extremely necessary for digestion because it helps carry waste products and toxins out of the body through the feces. The liver also monitors our glucose levels and ensures we have a healthy level of blood sugar by removing sugar from the blood and storing it as glycogen. For instance, if blood sugar is high, the liver removes glucose from the blood as needed. If blood sugar is low, the liver converts glycogen to glucose and adds it to the bloodstream. One issue I often hear about is that heavy drinkers often need new livers. This caused me to research why this happens. Alcohol changes the chemicals that break down and remove scar tissue, so heavy drinkers have lots of scar tissue on their liver, which causes the liver to not function properly and even result in liver failure, which can result in death. The only way to prevent this from happening is to cut down on drinking. As you can see, both the liver and the pancreas are vital for our digestion process. Attached is a worksheet that I have created that tests students on the content covered in this presentation. Thank you.